In the last lesson, we took a look at getting set up, and in this lesson, we're going to look at creating accounts. For the next several lessons, we're going to be making pretty heavy use of information you can find at web3js.readthedocs.io. I probably won't keep coming back here to show you things, but if you need to look something up or read about it more in depth, this is where you can go. So as you can see over in the docs, to create an account, we need something that they refer to as entropy, which is just really random characters. So if we look at what we just did here, essentially we have this random string. So from there we can actually create an account. Also, just a note, the entropy is supposed to be 32 characters, and this little bit of code here is just some stuff that I wrote to generate 32 random characters. So let's actually create an account. So we can say, well, first of all, let's take a look at what we have in our Web3 object. So if we look at Web3, well, we're not going to go through this whole thing. But you can see right here we have this ETH object nested in here, and then in here we have this accounts object. So we're going to make use of this. We're going to say web3.eth.accounts. That's going to give us back a little bit smaller object. In theory, where did I type at? Here we go. So at any rate, let's say var account equals web3.eth.accounts.create, and then we'll pass in that entropy that we created. So now if we look at the account, you can see that we have an address with a private key and then a little bit of functionality attached to it. So obviously, don't ever use this. This is all public now, so anybody who watches this will have this private key, so that should go without saying. But anyway, we've created our first account. So let's suppose we want to check the balance of this account. So we could say web3.eth.getBalance. Let's just run that and make sure that is in fact a function. Yeah. Sometimes I forget what all this stuff is called. So web3.eth get balance, and then we'll say account.address, because this function takes an address, and then we'll console.log out the response. And we get 0, which makes sense because we just created this account. So we need to get some ether in order to be able to run transactions with this account. And to do that, what we can do is go over to faucet.ropsten.b, and we can just paste our address in here and then say send me test ether. If for some reason this website is ever down, if you just Google Ropsten faucet, you should be able to find something else. Additionally, MetaMask, if you set up a MetaMask account, you can get Ropsten ether for free over there and then send them to your address that you're using here. It's a little bit it's multi-step process, but it would work. Now if we run our function again, we should see that we have a balance of 1 with 18 zeros behind it. If you're not familiar with how Ethereum works and why we have all these zeros here, it's simply because Ethereum is denoted in terms of Wei, which is the base unit, and there are 1 times 10 to the 18 Wei that make up 1 ether. If for some reason you did not actually get ether and it keeps telling you that your balance is 0, another thing you can try is faucet.metamask.io. Now the difference here is you can't simply just paste in an address, so you actually have to install MetaMask and go through the process and then get ether to that particular account, and then you'll have to send yourself ether. So it's a bit more involved, but it would also work. Sometimes these things work for me, sometimes they don't. It can be a little iffy sometimes, so yeah, that's just kind of how it is.